European jewelers between 1850 and 1960 could call on a rich history of jewelry design incorporating imagery from the natural world. Before the 17th century, flora and fauna were chiefly a framing element in jewelry. It was not until 1600 that flora became a dominant design feature, inspired by rising scientific interest in botany and the import of exotic flora from newly explored countries outside Europe. From around the 1630s, gemstones were enclosed in floral or leaf-like settings, and a fashion emerged for painted enamels of flowers reflecting the realism shown in illustrated books of natural history. Ornamental prints from the 18th century show a fashion for lavish jewels, few of which have survived in the form of floral bouquets in asymmetric designs with a colorful array of gemstones. During the Romantic movement, which reached its peak in the first half of the 19th century, artists reflected an orderly view of nature in favor of a deep emotional appreciation of its beauty and power. This admiration filtered down to the jeweler's workshop, resulting in naturalistically rendered flowers and animals. A rich source for jewelers in the 19th century were books describing the language of flowers, the hidden meanings of friendship, love, and flirtation that lay behind the choice of particular flowers and leaves. Roses, forget-me-nots, fuchsias, daisies, and pansies all conveyed subtitles of sentiment and formed a private communication between the giver and the wearer. Even depiction of some animals carried symbolic meaning, all crafted to look deceptively realistic. By the 1850s, the fashion for naturalism reached the heights in England and France. It was modish to wear the real thing set in the jewels, such as hummingbirds and beetles imported from Brazil, and other curiosities such as ostrich feathers, shells, and scales. The artistic movement of 1880s and 90s embraced the natural world as subject matter. In Britain and North America, the arts and crafts movement had a fondness for roses, irises, and lilies. Principles of ornament in France and Belgium, led by the jeweler Lalique, Art Nouveau jewelers introduced a dazzlingly original approach to the subject, the sinuous asymmetrical design characterized by whiplash curves and flowering lines. Lalique enjoyed drawing the intricacies of flowers and insects as a child, but like many of his friends, he became a great admirer of Japanese arts, inspired by the symbolism interpretations of nature. Art Nouveau jewelers moved away from representational studies to more expressive interpretive designs. Flora and fauna embodied the various stages of life, transforming landscapes, conveying the changed season. Alongside depictions of the sun, moon, and stars, since classical antiquity was the rising sun motif from Japanese art, celebrating the sun's life-giving qualities of warmth and light. The life cycles of trees became a symbol of passing time. Jewelers also tried to capture the movement of insects such as cicadas and butterflies in flight, dragonflies hovering over water, or bees, wasps, and grasshoppers over flowers. Their delicate wings, made from translucent Plique-à-jour enamels in shimmering tones with gemstones applied as sparkling highlights. Moths were used as symbols of rebirth, and bats were transformed into graceful creatures with widespread wings representing longevity and good fortune. Jewelers delighted in depicting sea creatures and fish. Birds were a central design theme, especially songbirds, ducks, cranes, and herons, and the swan with the graceful neck. Although deriving from European antiquity rather than Eastern symbolism, the peacock with an iridescent blue and green coloring became a symbol of beauty and immortality and embodied the decadence and vanity of the period leading up to World War I. The Art Nouveau period would prove to be the heyday of naturalistic design, but different styles were also emerging, and in 1910, which would be temporarily halted by the Great War in Germany, jewelers working in the stylized form, including elongated jellyfish, seed pods, and other ideas from nature. In Austria, the avant-garde jewelers of the Vienna Workate experimented even further with abstract geometrical interpretation of the natural world. In Denmark, during the Skånstrike period, organic themes were secondary to abstract form. In the interwar decades from 90s to 30s, there was a yearning for luxury, positivity, and fun. So, sparkle of the jewelry worn by actresses on the silver screen, a new type of celebrity culture. Jewelry's treatment of the natural world was increasingly inspired by global influences, by interpretational travel introducing Europeans to the colorful flowers, birds, and fruits of South America and Africa. Wartime restriction on metals and gemstones encouraged jewelers to adapt and led to fun-loving and imaginative themes. Firms such as Van Cleef & Arpels and Cartier made brochures of the shape of exotic birds and animals and bouquets of flowers. Emergence of avant-garde artist jewelers in the 1960s opened up design possibilities in a way unseen by early generations.